Spice Girl Mel B has revealed she is back on speaking terms with her family after nearly a decade. The 42-year-old singer fell out with her mum and sister back in 2007 after they told Mel they didn't approve of her marrying producer Stephen Belafonte, who had previously been found guilty of assaulting his ex-wife. Mel says she finally realised that family is family, so should you ever stop speaking to family no matter what? It's our Daily Dilemma, and Emma Reynolds is here from news.com.au. What are your thoughts, Emma?
Well, I think it's a very sad case because obviously the reason that they've stopped speaking to each other is because the family just really didn't approve of this guy, her husband. And I think that obviously comes from a place of love. They're concerned about her. But ultimately, I don't think you can dictate to your family members who they fall in love with. And it's meant that her mother's missed out on some of these really important moments in her life. She actually had to find out that Mel B was pregnant from Twitter, and then she found out about the birth of her child from Twitter as well. And she's been desperately trying to get back in touch with her daughter, but it's taken, obviously, almost 10 years.
I didn't even know you could get pregnant from Twitter.
Speaking generally, though, do you really think that blood is thicker than water? Like, I don't know if I really buy that.
Yeah, I was put under the test this year, well, last year now, but I was in a similar situation, and I am from a really tight-knit family. I'm one of 8 Italian Catholic kids, and there's 22 grandchildren now and 2 on the way, so a really tight-knit family. And it was really challenging because obviously blood is thicker than water, but when you're in a relationship with someone that, yeah, it's a very challenging situation. And I think what I knew was that my family would always be there, even if I wasn't speaking to them at that point in time. I never allowed the grandchildren to not be part of the family and all of those things. But fortunately, we're all holding hands now after Christmas this year.
Not everyone has these, you know, leave it to, you know, Cleaver, leave it to Beaver, you know, Daniel,
I think it's fair to say that some families are actually toxic. And I think for some people, you're unlucky enough to be born into a family where the best thing you can maybe do is get as far away from them as possible. And if they're actively making your life worse, you kind of have to make that judgment, don't you? You know, is it worth maintaining that connection when they're making you unhappy?
Sometimes, simply for self-preservation, you have to step back, whether it's from a friend, a family member, a toxic relationship. You are so wise with everything that you say. The great sadness, it seemed that with Mel B's family, it was coming from a place of love, that her husband, or husband-to-be, I think in that case, he did have a bad track record. So you can see they were coming from the right place, but they blew the whole relationship. So there is a way to say things and a way to debate and also to come back together. With a friend, you can wipe them, but with family, sometimes you do have to step back, get yourself together, and then you also have to think about, well, how are we going to move forward into the future?
But the family didn't even think about the relationship she had with her to-be husband, who might have changed. Do you know what I mean? They're not actually giving him a chance at change.
I think what's unfortunate is that it does actually happen to a lot of families because you're around them for your entire life. And it actually happened with my family. My brother didn't speak to my mum after my parents divorced for like 5 years. And
so hurtful.
You know, the saddest thing was how hard she was trying, how much she loved him to try and rebuild that relationship. Just like Mel B's mum sort of, you know, wishing them happy birthday even though you get no response. And
via Twitter.
Yeah, Mel B's mum was putting pictures on social media of her as a child, and I think it's quite heartbreaking because even if you do have those personality clashes, ultimately it's a special kind of love.
Everyone has family stuff, right? Everyone has something going on in their family. No one's perfect. Emma, thanks for being here. Love it. You are perfect.